In the early 20th century, the southern West Virginia coalfields ran on company towns, company police, and company scrip, wages redeemable only at the company store. Organizing attempts by the United Mine Workers of America, UMWA, met evictions and violence, culminating in the Paint Creek Cabin Creek strike, 1912 to 1913, and a cycle of armed confrontations known as the Mine Wars. By 1920, the fight centered in Mingo, Logan, and McDowell counties, where operators relied on private guards and friendly sheriffs to keep the Union out. On May 19, 1920, a shootout in Matewan, the Matewan Massacre, left 7 Baldwin Felts agents, the town's mayor, and 2 miners dead, galvanizing Union support across the coal fields. On-screen lower third, Matewan, May 19, 1920. Company-aligned sheriffs, most famously Don Chafin of Logan County, drew substantial pay from coal operators to enforce their interests. Chafin received $37,700 in 1919 alone, and during the 1912-13 crisis, $2,725 per month, illustrating just how intertwined law enforcement and coal money had become. On August 1, 1921, famed Matewan Police Chief Sid Hatfield and Deputy Ed Chambers were assassinated on the steps of the McDowell County Courthouse in Welch. To miners, it proved the courts were captured by coal power. Word flew along the hollows. Grief erupted into determination. Hatfield's killing became the last unbearable straw. Hatfield, a former miner and son of the Tug River Hills, had become a folk hero after Matewan. His brazen daylight killing, after arriving unarmed to answer charges, convinced thousands that legal redress was impossible. Funerals turned into rallies. Ministers thundered. Widows wept. Within days, the march gained unstoppable momentum across Appalachia. Within days, thousands converged near Marmet outside Charleston. Their goals were explicit: end martial law in Mingo County, free jailed Union miners, and break the mine guard system. Organizers Frank Keeney and Fred Mooney rallied men along Lenz Creek. Estimates of the gathering range from 7,000 to 20,000. Many were World War I veterans who organized supply, medical, and security details, used passwords, and even commandeered trains and trucks to move south. Keeney and Mooney tried to halt the march after warnings from General Harry H. Bandholtz that prosecution for treason could follow, but clashes near the line and rumors of killings reignited the march. On-screen lower third. To avoid friendly fire in dense woods, miners tied red bandanas around their necks, birthing the legend of the Redneck Army. The march was interracial and multi-ethnic, bringing together white, black, and immigrant miners under the same cloth. Field command fell to Bill Blizzard, just 28, who coordinated sectors and routes. Red cloth was more than a marker. It signaled discipline. Mixed crews, black, immigrant, and native-born, organized mess lines, first aid teams, and rotating pickets. Veterans taught skirmish spacing, hand signals, and fields of fire. Couriers carried orders between hollows. Wives and local churches supplied bread, coffee, and bandages to forward camps through rough nights. Between the marchers and Mingo stood Logan County. Sheriff Don Chafin, bankrolled by coal operators, mustered about 3,000 men, deputies, state police, mine guards, and volunteers, and fortified the 10 to 15-mile crest of Spruce Fork Ridge at Blair Mountain. They dug World War I-style trenches, built machine gun nests, and controlled the gaps: Blair, Crooked Creek, Mill Creek. From that high spine, they could rake every approach with overlapping fields of fire. Chafin's headquarters coordinated sectors along Blair, Crooked Creek, and Mill Creek gaps. Deputies felled trees, sighted obstacles, and cleared lanes of fire. Motor cars ferried ammunition to depots. Runners relayed orders. Field pieces were scarce, but machine gun nests anchored every approach. Lookouts watched hollows by day. Lantern posts marked lines at night. Both forces carried a patchwork arsenal. Miners mostly brought lever-action Winchesters, especially Model 1873, trapdoor Springfields, shotguns, Colt revolvers, and assorted hunting arms. A few had modern service rifles. Chafin's side, by contrast, fielded crew-served machine guns, including Colt Browning potato diggers, Winchester 1897 riot shotguns, Krag rifles in the hands of American Legion volunteers, and, crucially, Thompson submachine guns. By mid-1921, the West Virginia State Police had at least 37 Thompsons, and coal companies and local lawmen had acquired at least 56 more. A Logan hardware store alone received 9 that spring. August 31, a password challenge on a ridgeline erupted into a firefight, leaving the first dead on both sides. September 1, miners launched 2-pronged assaults along the crest. At Craddock Fork, a captured Gatling gun reportedly forced a brief breakthrough before a second machine gun position slammed the gap shut. Tactics mirrored recent war. Defenders held high ground, interlocking fire, and prepared positions. Miners tried to flank through draws under covering fire from veterans. Fog and gun smoke pooled in the hollows, masking movement. Skirmish lines advanced tree to tree, while sharpshooters hunted muzzle flashes along the crest. Miners probed flanks at dawn and dusk, seeking draws unguarded by guns. Stretcher-bearers crawled forward. Ammunition runners hustled rearward. Night fighting bred confusion and friendly fire. Private biplanes hired by Chafin dropped improvised bombs, 2 nausea gas bombs and 2 shrapnel bombs packed with gunpowder, nuts, and bolts on miners' camps. They caused little to no confirmed injuries, but shocked the country. Aerial bombardment against U.S. citizens on American soil. Meanwhile, Army Air Service aircraft that arrived were used for reconnaissance only under General Banholtz's restraint. Responding to Governor Ephraim Morgan, President Warren G. Harding ordered in federal forces. Between September 2nd and 3rd, 2,106 U.S. troops, elements of the 19th, 10th, 40th, and 26th Infantry Regiments, plus a chemical warfare detachment with tear gas, arrived by rail under General Bandholtz. The miners, unwilling to fire on federal soldiers, stood down. By September 3rd, the battle was over. Roughly 1,000 miners surrendered. Others slipped home, stashing rifles in the woods. Over the week of fighting, estimates of the rounds fired reached about 1 million, while fatalities, never reliably tallied, range from roughly 20 to as many as 100. The state indicted hundreds, including treason charges. 985 miners and leaders faced counts from murder to treason. Bill Blizzard was acquitted in 1922 in Charlestown, the same courthouse where John Brown had been tried. The only treason conviction was miner Walter Allen. In the short-term management won, UMWA membership in West Virginia collapsed from 50,000 to 10,000 in a few years, sinking to leather 1,000 by the late 1920s. Only with the Norris-LaGuardia Act, 1932, and the Wagner Act, National Labor Relations Act, 1935, which curbed anti-union injunctions, banned yellow dog contracts, and guaranteed collective bargaining, did organizing revive, and the Southern fields unionize in the New Deal. Blair Mountain itself became a new battleground over preservation. The battlefield was added to the National Register in March 2009, briefly removed in a property dispute, then reinstated on June 27, 2018, recognizing it as a nationally significant landscape running 10-plus miles along Spruce Fork Ridge. The largest labor uprising in U.S. history wasn't just a gun battle on a mountain. It was a referendum on industrial power, civil rights in company towns, and who counts as the public under the law. Its legacy lives in the rights American workers exercise and still fight over today. The Battle of Blair Mountain remains one of the most dramatic chapters in America's labor history. A moment when ordinary miners stood against overwhelming odds in the fight for dignity and justice. If you've enjoyed this mini-documentary and want to see more powerful stories from history brought to life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Your support helps us keep telling these forgotten stories. And if you want to be the first to know when our next documentary goes live, make sure to turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.